We'll continue discussing a portion of Article 6, okay, on the legislative branch. So, members, as a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, shall in all offenses punishable by not more than 6 years imprisonment be privileged from arrest while Congress is in session. No member shall be questioned nor be held liable in any other place for any speech or a debate in Congress or in any committee thereof. What does it mean? What's the rationale or philosophy behind this? Well, people voted for them, and if a case is filed against them, especially if the penalty is not more than 6 years of imprisonment, that would deprive them of that would deprive the people of their right, okay? And they may not function as a senator as what people voted for them simply because he was arrested. Okay, so in order that they can still perform the job, cases where penalty involved is less than 6 years, they are privileged. They cannot be arrested in any other crime, especially when the Congress is in session. Or if they say something in the freedom of speech while they anything that they say while they are in Congress they cannot be arrested. Okay. So in section 12, the all members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, okay, upon assumption of office, make a full disclosure of their financial and business interests. They shall not they shall notify the House concerned of the potential conflict of interest that may arise from filing of a proposed legislation to which they are authors. What is the rationale behind all this? Well, sometimes when the regions of a congressman file their certificate of candidacy is sometimes to protect their business. Uh, they may not say it, but deep down inside is really sometimes a protection of a business. So when they assume office, both an elected position and appointed, those who are working in the under the civil service rules, should submit a SALN, okay? SALN, SALN, Statement of Asset Liabilities and Net Worth before it's only without net worth. Okay, the difference between asset and liabilities is known as the net worth. That would show whether the lifestyle you have corresponds to your salary. Okay, let's say if your salary is less than salary grade 10, okay, so we will not expect you to have a luxurious cars or a mansion, a house mansion that is not reflective of your salary. So in that case, there is a presumption of corruption. Now, so you have to make a full disclosure. So for appointed government employees, every time at the end of the year, on the first quarter, which is January to March, they have to submit now their full disclosure by submitting their SAL-in, Statement of Asset Liabilities and Net Worth, for for secret ang laman nito. Even a Supreme Court justice did not file her certificate of as SAL-in for many years while working in the government office. That would show a questionable character, um, which is not befitting to a to work in the Supreme Court. Okay, so you have to state the your all your assets. What are those assets? The possessions you have, like luxury cars, house, and lot, and then Liability is the loan. The difference is your net worth. No senator or members of the House of Rep may hold any office or employment in the government or any subdivision, agency, or instrumentality thereof, including government-owned or controlled corporations of their subsidiaries during his term without forfeiting his seat. Neither shall be appointed in any office which may have been created or the emoluments thereof increased during the term for which he was elected. It means that uh, the government, the congressman cannot or senator cannot work in an office that they created, okay, while they were in Congress, or even increased its salary while they were in Congress, and then later on serve as an officer in that office. Why is it so? Sometimes they are very wise. Okay, they increase and they know for sure that they will soon become appointed in that office. So they are the beneficiaries. Now I'm telling you, that's the problem now of our system. No, people are so engrossed with money. Okay, so if you analyze it, okay, even the constitution is like that, but deep down inside, the reason why they are in Congress or they are in the office, not only in the Senate or in the House of Rep, even in all government offices, the reason why they they sometimes um aspire to have a position is because of the salary. Okay, so it's all because of money. When you desire for this, I'm telling you, it would be the cause of your downfall. Although you may be powerful, that's not the end of. It's not the main goal of life. Okay, money is just one aspect of wealth. There are many aspects. There are kinds or types of wealth. One is time, right? If you have time to take care of your family, that means you are wealthy. Okay. One is friends. Yeah. If you have many friends, then you are wealthy. You may have money, but if you don't have friends, you're not that wealthy. Okay. Another is health. Okay. You may possess all the money, but as soon as you get sick, it, it will drain all your assets. So and of course, one is financial wealth. So it's just one aspect of the real wealth. There are four types. Okay. So, but what people know is that the the wealth is only measured by the amount of money you have in your pocket. So it's not the total measurement of wealth. There are many aspects. So yeah, as soon as we run in the office, that should not be the desire. That should not be the desire. Because that would, I observe that's even the cause of conflict right now. Okay, in government, people are um, running for it, claiming they wanted to grab it, put it in their pocket. But sometimes it would cause chaos to those who are peace loving and those who are already satisfied with their lives. Honestly, I'm satisfied now, although it's one aspect of health, wealth is financial, but you know, comparing myself to others, I am better off. I am blessed with what I have now. So I do not have to aspire for more because in other aspect, I already have almost the other types of wealth. Friends, I have time, I have, and the other friends, health, the more I have. Now, so the reason why it is like this, it's the law is created like this, so that when you make law, it must be for the benefit of everyone, not just for your own benefit. Okay, you go to Congress or even being in an office doesn't mean you have to your main purpose is to be wealthy. Okay, maybe only now that they they are engrossed with monetary consideration, but before people are more on service. But the problem now is, sometimes those who are working in government are the voters. They had the influence. The rich people are the influencer. Look at the leaders in election. Okay, most of them are the rich people. So that they will be loyal to you, loyal to the congressman, to all public officers. They have to feed them. In what way? Increase their salary right now. There are many proposals, especially during election, to increase their salary. Okay, so almost all of them claiming to be the author of the bill that increase the salary. Okay, so that's one way of vote buying. I consider it as a vote buying. Okay, to probably vote for you. There are many forms of vote buying, I'd say. One of which is, let's say, increasing the tenure or the number of years, or postponing the election of barangay councilors and local government in the barangay level. Okay, why? Because this punong barangay would favor that. So that's another way of vote buying. You did not give them money, but you give them a privilege so that they will still be there. Okay, increasing a salary to policemen. That's another form of vote buying, so that people will be so that the policemen or even the armed forces will be loyal to you. Okay, promoting somebody to be so that he will be loyal to, although you did not give them money, but you you give them an opportunity to be loyal. So these are techniques, no, of uh, which is not really good. Okay, so I would like to say this to you because sometimes when you take this course, you don't have what you have in mind is not really pure service, but probably you've seen others who become wealthy. That's why you try to imitate them. That is not the main reason. Okay, that's why sometimes you will never win because of that desire. While those who do not aspire to be rich are the ones liked by people. Okay, so these are forms of vote buying. Okay, like right now you've seen many senator trying to be publishing to be an author of a bill that increases salary for private employees. Okay, so others claim to be the author, the responsible for the increase of the salary of teachers, because they knew that teachers comprises most of the um, electors. Okay, um, I think the number one is DepEd, so many claims to be the author of their benefits. Okay? But in reality, they're not. They just it was just a front, but in reality, they're not. No senator or member of the House of Rep may personally appear as counsel before any court of justice or before electoral tribunals or quasi-judicial and other administrative bodies. Neither shall he directly or indirectly be interested in financial in any contract with or any franchise or special privileges granted by the government or any subdivision, agency, or instrumentality thereof, including any government-owned or controlled corporation or its subsidiary during the term of office. He shall not intervene in any matter before any office of the government for his pecuniary benefit, or where he may be called upon to act on the account of his office. So in other words, the members of Senate or Senate members of the House of Rep should not influence, okay, um, any court or tribunal. Well, basically, they cannot actually practice. Okay, more so, even if you have friends, like they are the author of a certain agency, they should not influence. But the reality, although this is just a law, but No one of we heard of a congressman intervening, but there are actually many instances that they intervene. Congress shall convene once every year on the fourth Monday of July. Take note of that year and the month, month and the day of the regular session unless a different date is fixed by law, okay, and shall continue to be in session for such number of days as it may determine until 30 days before the opening of its next regular session, exclusive of Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays. The president may call upon a special session at any time. So they meet once a year. That is when they meet. That is called they are in session. They cannot be arrested on that particular period. You only have 1 month break, but the president may call for a special session. Now, Section 16, Paragraph 1, Senate shall elect their president, okay, and the House of Rep and its speaker, okay, by a majority vote of all its respective members. So, senators, they will select their president. House of Rep, they will select their speaker of the House. Each House shall choose their other officers as may deem necessary. So, where can you find that? It's in their rules. Okay. So, they have rules in the House of Rep, and also they have their rules in the Senate. Majority of each house shall constitute a quorum to do business. And the quorum is the 50% of the people. 50% plus one. Okay, do not just simply say 50%. It's not a majority. 50% plus one. Don't also say 50% plus 1%. No. Okay, the 1% maybe 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 two or three or five. That depends on their number. Okay? But the majority is the 50% plus one person. 50, the half of that plus one person, then that's the majority. Okay? So I said it. What is the majority? 24. Half of that is 12 plus 1, 11. 13. 13 is the majority before they can do business. Now, what if some are absent? What is the majority? Yeah, Ginkono?
Yes, sir. If may absent, sir, kay dili sila ma-appeal sa kwan, sir, sa voting.
Okay. So, um, not, yeah, but not, but how about the quorum in determining the quorum? Will he be included in determining the quorum? Let's say 13. Kent Laurente.
Yes, sir. I believe that there's still concern about
Ah,
50% plus 1%. For example, the senators, sir, like 24, still, they are still included, which is the 13 senator.
kung one mo sa, let's say one is absent, is in America, on leave, will he be included in the 13?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, um, you should know that. Okay. When is the when is um when is the quorum or majority? Is this important knowing this? Let's say I'm going to give you an example where this is really important in local government. In the local government unit, it states there that a legislation, an ordinance to be valid requires majority, right? Also with any majority vote. Now, in general, by the way, let's say there are 12, one is absent, then um, that may not be included in determining the quorum of the for the present for the present. If especially if the notice was absent was relayed and notified. Now, in local government unit, that the the majority, okay, refers to those who are around to do business. If they're not in majority, then they cannot. Okay, they cannot do. Let's say eight majority of that is five. They can do business. Now, but let's say the ordinance passed was to enter into a contract and it involves money. The required number there is not those who are present, but the number of council, regardless of whether they're absent or not. But ordinarily, they can do business. Okay, if they constitute a quorum or majority of those who are present. Let's say there are there are let 200. Okay, 150 were present. Okay, and then the half of 150, it's let's say 80 present. 150, 80 was in favor of a certain law. Okay, or let's say if compare it to local government, 80 is in, um let's say 5 were present. Okay, so they constitute majority, right? Because in local government there are only 8, right? Let's say they constitute the majority, but those who are, and then it was discussed and approved that there will be a contract to be paid by local government units, and then those who approve are only 3, and that's majority, right, of the 5. Okay, will that be allowed? Okay, generally, if you look at it, it's valid. Okay, because of 8 or 9, 5 were present, it's majority. Okay, so they can pursue a meeting or they can do business. And then a proposal was introduced, 3 was in favor, okay, which is valid in general. Okay, but if that ordinance again is imposes obligation, monetary consideration, the requirement of law is that it must be majority of legislator, um, all of them. Okay, and not those who are that not only those who are present. Okay, so that is the case actually of a contract entered into between um, municipality of Corella and a certain contractor where the majority, 5 were present, majority of them, then 3 approved. Okay, but the requirement, if it's an obligation, it should be not the majority, which is 3, but the majority of those who are of the legislator, even if they are absent. So what happened? It was not approved. Although there was a contract, valid contract, but they question its validity because the requirement is that if it has an obligation, the required number is not those who constitute the majority. The majority is the councilors who are elected, which is more than the majority, not those who are around. So if even if you're absent, you should be included in the counting of the majority. Okay. So maybe you can read the case of Corilla. Okay, Corilla case on um contract. Okay, so secretary, you check their attendance.